Hi, I'm Gary from organicweb.com.au and I'm a Mailchimp Pro Partner. In this video, I'm going to show you how we can use audiences in Mailchimp. Now, audiences is, I feel anyway, the most important part of Mailchimp. Whether you're a beginner or already use Mailchimp, I'm sure you'll find this very useful. To get to the audience section in Mailchimp, we quite simply log into Mailchimp and then under Audience, we click Audience Dashboard. So I'm going to click Audience Dashboard and there's various stuff going on here, but we can see we might be able to, in Mailchimp, have multiple audiences. And this depends on the plan you're on, Essentials, Standard, and so on. Most organizations, or almost all organizations, would do best by having a single audience. Then we divide that audience by things called tags and segments, for example, and the data we have in our audience, which is called fields, or the data we add to fields. So typically you would only have one audience. And this is for many reasons, which I'll go to very quickly and it'll make more sense as we carry on. Firstly, in Mailchimp, the email address is the unique identifier in an audience. Thus, if we have multiple audiences, we might be able to add that same person into multiple audiences. Okay, that affects your costing. When a person unsubscribes in Mailchimp, they click unsubscribe on the email sent from a Mailchimp email. They unsubscribe from the audience that email was sent from. So for example, if you have my email address in two of your audiences, I click unsubscribe from one of your emails. I'm unsubscribed from one, but you can keep sending to me from the other audience. You've broken the law. So that's really the main reason why we would have a single audience. And it's just easier for management having a single audience. If I click view audiences, you'll notice I can have multiple audiences. And just to let you know, to delete an audience, we quite simply just click the little box and click delete. But let me create a new audience. You'll probably very rarely need to do this, but I'll just create an audience to show you what goes into it. And you'll notice that immediately Mailchimp tries to encourage me to use tags, use a single audience and use tags instead of a new audience. But I'll click create audience and we'll wait for this to load up. And there, it's just self-explanatory. So the audience name, let's just call this Gary's Great Ice Cream, for example. Default from address, okay, this is your business address, for example. The from name, Gary, the ice cream dude, whatever. Campaign URL settings, don't worry about that. Every email we send from Mailchimp can be viewed online. It's stored online on a page. And this is just saying, what do we want that URL to look like for that page? Honestly, just leave it. Remind people how they subscribed. Thanks for joining from organicweb.com.au, for example. Okay, and then various other information, your company information, your name, etc., etc., etc. At the bottom here, the form settings, enable double opt-in. Unless you need to, I wouldn't enable that. What that is that if you enable it, when someone subscribes, Mailchimp will send them a follow-up email saying, click here to confirm that you actually want to subscribe. The problem is if the person then doesn't click that in the follow-up email, you will not be able to send them email marketing. And as far as I know, but you'll need to check this, as far as I know, there's no legal reason why you need to enable that. Enable GDPR fields if you're in the European Union, or there's another reason you need to enable general data protection regulation fields, you need to enable that. Notifications, do you want an email every time someone subscribes or unsubscribes? That's up to you. And click save. Okay, so we've created our new audience. Hopefully you never need to do that, but at least now you know what goes into that. And we'll wait for this to load up. But now, once we have our audience, we don't have people in it. People are called contacts, and again, email address is the only information we actually need for each person in Mailchimp. How do we add contacts? Well, if we click add contacts, we can add people one by one, which you can go into, click add a subscriber, and you can just put in their email address, details. You can import contacts, which we will go through. And last but not least, you could, if you really wanted to, go to integrations down the bottom. Now, an integration is a connection with another system. So for example, you use Xero accounting. You can use the integration so that automatically once a customer is added to Xero, they're added to Mailchimp. Maybe you use Eventbrite, you can do the same. But again, I'm going to show you how we can import from Excel or Google Sheets, which is probably the most popular way of doing things. I have two Google worksheets here. The first one's nice and simple, and the second one gets a little bit more complicated with a few more fields. Let's just do this basic first import. First name, email address. You'll notice I've got everyone's email address. It doesn't matter the order in which the columns are. Sorry. So I'm just going to copy this stuff from Google Sheets or Excel. Just copy it. Go to Mailchimp, add contacts, import contacts, and now we just follow the wizard. I'm going to copy and paste. I click continue. I'm doing this fast, but you can go through it in your own time. I just paste in the information here. Looks a bit weird, but don't worry about that. Continue to organize. Right, select the audience, make sure it's the correct audience. I'm going to explain this very quickly. If you want to send people these emails, if you've got permission to send these people emails, you will always you'll always add them as subscribed. In Mailchimp, Mailchimp will only let you send to subscribed people. Unsubscribed means they've clicked unsubscribe in the email. Non-subscribed, that's sort of a special class if you have e-commerce and a person hasn't agreed to get email marketing. And cleaned means broken. We've sent an email to that email address and it was spelled wrong. The person's changed their name, something like that. So we'll add them as subscribed. Update any existing. I'll explain that on the next import. Continue to tag. We'll go through this again, but a tag is just a way we label contacts. We group them together. We label them. So I could call this one 2024. Let's say I want to remember when I imported these people. I could just go 2024 and create 2024. I might want to call them VIPs. It could be anything, whatever suits your business. I'll click continue to match. When this is white up the top, Mailchimp is saying that it's recognized these fields. You can change, and unfortunately you're not seeing it on your screen, but if you click where it says first name, what I'm seeing is a drop down, and you can experiment on your screen, that shows you the various fields are. You could even create a new field. It says create a new field. You could even create a new field, but this is the first name. So I'm going to click confirm, and the email address is correct. So I'll just leave that, and I'll click finalize import. Mailchimp gives me a quick check and complete import. Once this loads up, I'm expecting to see those 4 people. So let me just go view imported contacts. And what we will see in just a second is 4 imported contacts. Right, there they are. And I'll just click the little cross to get out of what's called the segment, and we'll go into segments. Right, so there those 4 people are. And we can see their various fields here at the moment. Email address, first name, last name, address, phone number, tags. Remember, I added the tag. I could have added different tags. And so on. Let's do this import one more time. What I'm going to do is show you a way you can add and delete fields, because let's say I'm never going to use this address and phone number field as an example. Let me show you how we can delete these fields, and also we can add new fields. Let's go to our spreadsheet, and I'll go to my sheet, and what you'll notice is I now have a store and a birthday field. If I go back to Mailchimp, I don't have store and birthday anywhere here, so I need to add store and birthday, and I need to remove address and phone number. So the way I do that is I click Settings, Audience Fields, and Merge Tags. Let's go into that. Okay, now if I want to delete some fields, so let's delete address. All I do is I click, oh sorry, let me just move myself here. Oopsie, sorry about that. Let me just off a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. I'm just going to click on the little delete icon, and Mailchimp says to me type delete to confirm. So let's just type in delete. delete, and I said I also want to get rid of the address field, so I'll do that. Wait for this to load up. Come on, Mailchimp. Right, I also said I want to delete the address field, so I'm just hovering over, click delete, type in delete, and it deletes the field. Now, it won't delete the actual people in the audience, it's just deleting the data in that column and that specific column. And let me just move my little video problems. Busy. Okay. Right, so I also said I wanted to add store in the birthday. So let me add a field called store. So I click add a field. Mailchimp says what kind of field do I want, and in this case I'm going to add store, so it's just text, just plain text I want to add. Wait for that to load up. And you'll notice I have a new field down the bottom, and I can just rename this as store, for example. Click Save Changes, and I want to add one more field, and that one more field in this case is called birthday, because maybe I want to send people the happy birthday email on their birthday, or maybe a week before their birthday. So we'll just add that field. Working hard, but I'm sure it'll be with us in just a second. There we go. And again, I click add a field. Now, something to note here is that in Mailchimp, we have two types of date fields, birthday and date. I'm adding a birthday. A date requires the year, whereas birthday doesn't. The birthday just requires, for example, 12th of February, something like that. Whereas date would require 12th of February 2000. So let me click the birthday to add the birthday field. We'll call this field birthday just so we understand what's required in that field. Right, let's call this birthday. And date format, depending where you are, I've dropped down, and you can change it to day and month. I'm in Australia, so I'm going to select day and month, and we'll click Save Changes. So in our audience now, we will have the store field and the birthday field in the correct formats. Just while I'm here, and again I'm under settings and audience field and merge tags, when we send our email campaign, our email message in Mailchimp, we can include the first name, such as hi first name. But what if we don't have the first name for every subscriber in our audience? Well, we can set what's called a default merge tag value, and you might put in here something like member or customer. So the default merge tag value will only show where we don't have first name for the person. If we do have the first name, Jill, whatever, it will include the first name. So I could just add here, let's do ice cream lover, and click Save Change. So that's, if I use the first name merge tag value in my email, it'll now include ice cream lover if I don't have the person's first name. But let's just view our audience again. Let's go to all contacts. And you can see now the address and phone number no longer appear, and store and birthday are fields here. Let me do that import. So going back, some people are the same, some are different. I don't need to remove people from the spreadsheet, from Mailchimp. I don't need to delete unsubscribe people in Mailchimp. Mailchimp handles that. So let me just this information's a bit all over the place, but let's just save this. And what we're going to do is go back to Mailchimp, click Add Contacts, Import Contacts, copy and paste, continue, and we'll just paste in our data. It's included a lot of empty cells, but that's absolutely fine. Click Continue. Okay, that audience is correct. I'm importing as subscribed, but even if I import as subscribed and they unsubscribed in our audience, Mailchimp won't change the status of unsubscribed people. Update any existing. So if I already have people in my audience, do I want to update it with that information I'm importing? In this case, I do. So I'll click Continue to Tag, and I can call these anything I want to. I can call, let's call this I don't know, ice cream lovers. You can add as many tags as you want to. Continue. Right, we've got first name, email address looks correct. We've got the store correct. We've got birthday correct. Click finalize import. Let's just see. We can leave. So let's just view our dashboard. Let's just go into our contacts to load up. What you will notice as well is that at any time you can export in CSV format. You can export your audience and keep a copy on your desktop. These are called fields in Mailchimp: email address, first name, and so on. Most plans in Mailchimp allow you to have 30 fields of data. We also have tags, as we know. In Mailchimp, you can have as many tags per person as you want. It's unlimited, the number of tags. The only limitations are 100 characters per tag. Email marketing, this shows you whether the person is subscribed or unsubscribed. Source shows you how they were added. For example, if it was from Eventbrite, from an integration, it would show Eventbrite. Contact rating is out of 5. That is how engaged is that person with your marketing. Everyone's added as a 2. Sorry, excuse me. As they open and click more of your emails, they go up 3, 4, 5. If they're not engaged in your marketing, they go down to a 1, or if they're unsubscribed, they'll go down to a 1, for example, and various other information. There's another way of managing tags in Mailchimp. On the left-hand side, we can click tags, and you can do various things here. For example, let's say we want to send an email to people that are tagged ice cream lovers. Well, we can quite simply click the down arrow and click send regular campaign to email just those people. And I'll show you another way of sending to them a bit later on. Also, you can create new tags at this stage, but also you can bulk tag contacts. Sorry, excuse me. So that's tags. Back to audience dashboard, back to all contacts. Last but not least is in Mailchimp, we can what we call segment contacts. So we've got fields, we've got tags, which is data we add. A segment is just a search of our data or a filter. So let's say, for example, I want to know everyone that shops at our CBD store because we want to target our marketing at just people at the CBD store. I could go, well, actually there are multiple ways. I could click on new segment, regular segment, or advanced segment. And by the way, the difference between advanced segment and regular segment, an advanced segment gives you more options. However, advanced segments you need to update before sending your email, whereas regular segments automatically update. So for example, if I create a segment today, I create an email to send to that segment, then next I schedule my email to go out next Thursday. You might have people that are added to your audience or unsubscribe. Mailchimp will recalculate at the time of sending if you use a regular segment. Hence, I recommend regular segment. So that you could create segments here, you could view your segments here. What I'm going to do is just show you that on the left-hand side, you can click segments, and it's just another way of viewing your segments or adding segments. But let's create a regular segment for now. And I'm going to click create a new segment, and you can just add your segment here, your criteria here. So for example, we said we wanted to know all people in the store that equaled CBD. I can click the down arrow and you can see I can add tags, for example. I could add when their birthday was, even their contact rating out of 5. But I said I was interested in the store. If I click on store, my criteria were where store is, for example, CBD. And I could add extra filters, but for now, I'll just go review segment and call it something meaningful. I've got too many customers, or seen too many people that use strange words or some coding to to describe a segment, but I highly recommend just plain language. It just makes understanding what's in it much better. And so I'm just going to type here store equals CB, just so it's nice and you know what it is. Review segment. And Mailchimp will just now show me an example. So let's see what happens. Store equals CBD. So 6 contacts match, and you can see here that all these people have the store as the CBD. So I can click here, for example, use segment, and it saves my segment. So just to show you again, at any stage, I could just click the down arrow and click, send regular campaign, or even just export people that are in that segment. But if I go to all contacts, and I'll just click the little cross to get out of the segment. And if I now click view segment, wait for this up, sorry. At any stage, I can now click store equals CBD, and it'll recalculate who matches the people at the contacts that match those conditions at that time. And you can have as many segments as you want in Mailchimp. But that really is audiences. And now you are ready to send your email marketing to your audience, or a segment of your audience, or a tag, or anyone in your audience.